Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today we'll be speaking about if Genjutsu would work outside of the Narutoverse. Now, Genjutsu is one of the coolest and one of the most hacked powers in anime. I mean, just imagine, with a mere glance, you can trap someone in a world where time basically stands still and you have full control over everything. Or if you're feeling a little more playful, then you can have your opponent think that they're fighting against you. But when they finally get that win, they realize it was all merely just an illusion. So for this reason, Genjutsu often gets brought up in cross-verse battles quite a bit, and more times than not, it is being referenced as some sort of unbeatable power. However, let us actually examine the mechanism of Genjutsu to see how it would likely play out in a cross-verse situation. Now, in the Naruto world exists an energy called chakra, which in its regular variety is a combination type energy derived from an individual's physical energy and their mental or spirit energy. And this energy known as chakra flows through every individual in the Naruto world through a cardiovascular light network known as the Kairakukai that is integrated with every organ of their body down to a cellular level. Now this first point is really important for you to understand. Everyone in the Naruto world has chakra. Note, that does not mean that everyone knows how to manipulate the chakra they have. All it means is that everyone has chakra. And even the animals are clearly stated to have chakra. Then secondly, those in the Naruto world who are able to manipulate this chakra, known as ninjas, are able to utilize it to carry out various jutsus. And Genjutsu is a general term that describes a class of chakra manipulation techniques that has to do with the formation of illusions. Now, the stimulus for a Genjutsu is usually tied to one of the senses. So for example, it could be initiated through you hearing a sound such as the demonic flute phantom sound chains, or it could be a sight-based Genjutsu that activates when you look at a specific body part such as a finger, or more commonly, the eyes. But regardless of what initiates the Genjutsu, the underlying mechanism of what is actually happening to make it work is always the same. So as Jiraiya clearly explains, Genjutsu alters the opponent's physical senses to create illusions by taking control of and altering the chakra flow throughout the opponent's brain. Thus, given this mechanism of chakra flow control and alteration, the obvious counter to Genjutsu, as Jiraiya also goes on to explain, is just to disrupt your chakra flow to break your opponent's control of it. And ways of disrupting your chakra flow include just doing it by yourself, or if you're unable to do this, have someone not caught in the Genjutsu physically touch you and send chakra into you to disrupt it. Similarly, pain not caused by the Genjutsu can also serve to disrupt your chakra flow. And by the way, just as an aside point, it should have been intuitively clear to you that sensations like pain would disrupt your chakra flow. But just to reinforce this, remember, we know that even something as innocuous as telling a lie causes changes in your chakra flow, presumably due to the anxiety one may feel when lying, similar to the spike in heart rate that a person may have when lying. But wait, if a person needs to have chakra for Genjutsu to work on them, then how did Kaguya put the Earth's inhabitants under infinite Tsukuyomi? To answer this, we need to talk about the Utsuki clan, of which Kaguya is a part of. So the Utsuki clan is basically an alien parasitic species that travels the cosmos, consuming the life energy of other planets to get stronger. How they do this is by planting a 10-tailed sapling into a compatible planet, and this sapling then grows into a god tree by spreading its roots across the planet to siphon chakra from all of the inhabitants of that planet. Once this happens, it bears a chakra fruit, and the Utsuki eat this to get stronger, and then the cycle repeats. Now with this, you should now understand, despite being called the progenitor of chakra, Kaguya is not actually so. She did not introduce chakra to Naruto's Earth, she went there to get it. All the god tree does is to absorb chakra and concentrate it into a chakra fruit. And this is clearly stated as such, and it was even shown in the war that the god tree is for absorbing chakra. It could even specifically target the people like B who have more chakra. And remember, your life is literally tied to your chakra. You die if you completely run out. So even when the term life force is being used, we are still talking about chakra. So there's absolutely no ambiguity here. The people of Earth had chakra, and that's why the God tree was planted there in the first place. But wait, even if that is true, wasn't there something in a Naruto novel that basically said that the Mangekyo Sharingan is able to work on an individual without going through this chakra control mechanism? Well, the novel that is usually being referenced when this is brought up is the Naruto Itachi Story Volume 2 Midnight, in which Shisui is describing his plan to use Genjutsu on his father, and he says the Mangekyo Sharingan can sidestep the normal Genjutsu mechanism. But hold on a second, you'll know that it says the Mangekyo Sharingan can sidestep it all a bit. That a bit seems kind of important, right? So let us take a second to actually read what is being said in full context. So in the first part of the discussion, we see where Shisui goes over how the normal Sharingan casts Genjutsu. So remember, as already stated, all Genjutsu requires at least 2 sequential steps. The first step is the initiating event, and as we already said, that can be through something like sight or sound. So in accordance with this, Shisui states that the initiating event for a normal Sharingan is that your gaze has to intersect with the gaze of the opponent to some degree, meaning that at one point, both persons must be directly looking into each other's eyes to some degree. Then after the initiating event, we know that you need to control the flow of chakra in your opponent. So everything is pretty normal so far. But by the way, have you ever wondered how you go from looking at something to your chakra flow being controlled? I mean, with a sound initiating event, it's easy to understand how the sound itself could facilitate this. But how does this work for sight? Well, the bridge step is that after the direct gaze, the caster is able to inject their chakra through the opponent's eyes, which then goes on to control the opponent's chakra flow. But how do we know this? Well, this is made clear a little later. Now, Shisui then goes on to say that the Mangekyo Sharingan allows him to sidestep the usual protocol of the normal Sharingan, which some people took to mean that it no longer required chakra control. However, when you read what he explains, you see that is not actually the case. So firstly, he clearly says that in contrast to the normal Sharingan, where both you and your opponent has to look at each other, with the Mangekyo Sharingan, as long as the Genjutsu caster looks at the opponent's eyes, then that is sufficient for the initiating event. So note carefully, the only sidestep here, as he clearly says, is that you don't need intersecting gaze. However, you still need to look in the opponent's eyes. So that's the first thing. The second thing that he points out is that the amount of chakra that you can pour in with the Mangekyo Sharingan is several times more than with the normal Sharingan, meaning that, as we already described, how the normal Sharingan gets from intersecting gaze to controlling chakra is by injecting the Genjutsu caster's chakra into the opponent. The only difference with the Mangekyo Sharingan, again as clearly stated here, is that the user can pour in more chakra compared to the regular Sharingan and other side-based Genjutsu. And this is significant because, as you can imagine, the more chakra you pour in, the faster you can control your opponent's chakra flow, and thus the quicker you can get them under the Genjutsu. And thus, as Shisui explains, this allows the Mangekyo Sharingan's illusions to basically start working instantly. So you see, the core principle of controlling your opponent's chakra flow is actually not changed by the Mangekyo Sharingan. The sidestep that Shisui was talking about is clearly expressed to be just some simple ways in which the Mangekyo Sharingan is more effective than the normal Sharingan and other normal side-based Genjutsus. So with this set of clearly outlined facts, it seems pretty cut and dry that for Genjutsu to work on a person, they need to have chakra, because chakra flow control and alteration is the basis of Genjutsu. And note, that is not to say that chakra as a general thing cannot have effects on the nerves directly, because for example, to actually awaken the Sharingan, after some huge trauma, a special chakra is secreted which directly interfaces with the ocular nerve to change its structure to form the Sharingan. However, again, just because chakra can do something generally, that doesn't mean you get to ignore the actual actual mechanism of any specific jutsu or specific class of jutsus. And as we already clearly outlined, the actual stated mechanism of Genjutsu is that it works by controlling chakra flow, not by directly affecting the nerves. But anyway, that's the video guys. You can let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. But anyway, see you guys next time.